Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John Ahr and I'm your instructor. We're going to do something different today. We're going to make models for lost wax casting. Now, I know we've not talked about this before on the OJA, but here's a quick tip for making some wax models that will perform beautifully. Now, in a previous video, I showed you how to make a silicone cold mold like this for a paper casting assignment. Well, this same material will work beautifully for this project. In that previous video, I showed you how to mix this material and put it into a container and make a snug fit to your model so that when you flex the mold and remove the model, you get a perfect impression of the model left in the mold. Now, this molding material can take heat and it can be used to make models that are hollowed back. Hollowed back models are important in lost wax casting because if you were to cast a solid object, you're paying for all of that metal, that heavy metal that's going to go into making a solid piece. So let me show you how to make a hollowed back model very quickly. Now, what I have here in front of me, these are pellets of injectable wax. These are normally used with a wax injector to inject molds. Now, the reason why I'm using this here is because this is a great wax. It performs beautifully. If you need to modify your waxes after they're cold, you can take a saw frame with a wax blade or a wax file to this wax, and you won't have any problems, unlike if you were to use a blue or red inlay wax. Now, the silicone molds should be chilled before you work with them. You can do this by putting a bowl of ice cubes on your bench and just setting the molds on top of it while you're not using them. Once they're chilled down, all you need to do, put on your safety glasses. You don't want to have any potential wax spatter near your eyes. So anyway, I've got a double boiler here in which I've modified a cupcake tin with a little spout on it like that. Now I've melted the wax, and all I need to do, this isn't very hot, is I'm just going to pour wax into these molds. And almost as soon as I pour the wax in, I'm going to dump some wax out. Now, that ought to leave a very nice thin layer of wax in the frame. Now we'll let those chill for a second. Here, let's do one with the seahorse as well while I'm at it. Now you can just pour it right in, and I'm going to help it to get to those hard to reach spots. And if there's a little bit of overflow, that's okay. So while these are cooling down, let's talk about some of these other things on the table. Now here's the original model of the Buddha, and what I did is, you can see here that I've laid a copy of the Buddha's face over a disc that I made. I carved this and then drilled a hole in it, and you could see how that could be a very nice, elegant looking halo. Maybe that'll make a nice pendant. Now you can see I got different results on the head, and here's a lot of overflow. If you get a little overflow like that, you could saw it off, you could break it off, throw it back in your wax, and you're good to go. I've also got the seahorse and some urchins and a shell. And it looks like my models are cool enough to pull out of the molds now. Now you can see how they sort of pull back from the mold anyway as they chill. So it's really easy to just flex the molds and drop them right out. So there's another urchin. I'll put it right there. And here's another Buddha. And I'll put him right next to the original. You can see it's amazing how clean and clear and crisp these models are from these molds. Now the seahorse isn't entirely ready to pop out, and I've got some that I forgot to pour out, so it's going to be nice and thick. But if that happens, if you make a mistake, guess what? All you need to do is just pull it out of the mold, and let's see, he's actually pretty good, so I'll put him back. But I could have just thrown the wax right back into the double boiler and been done with it and make another one. I hope these tips help you to make lightweight models out of wax for lost wax casting. We'll have more on this topic later on. If you like this video, you can find more like it on the onlinejewelryacademy.com. If you click the button in the lower right, you instantly become a subscriber, and you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget about fan funding. Thanks for watching.